All right, hello everyone. Welcome back to the channel. My name's Shaheen Manjezi. For those of you who are new to the channel, and for my current subscribers, welcome back. So today I want to share with you guys a very simple practice that you can start implementing into your life, and it's so simple yet it's so powerful and it's so amazing. And um, I really picked up on this from an encounter that I've had this past weekend. Um, and I'll share that with you real quick. So this past weekend, me and my family, my parents, my two sisters, we did a little surprise birthday trip for my mom. She had no idea where we were going. We went to go visit a family friend of ours. He has a cabin in the mountains, and he just renovated his cabin. Beautiful renovation. He said he spent about $350,000 for this renovation. He added 1,000 square feet to the cabin. Everything just modern, wood floors, beautiful countertops. It's just a beautiful renovation that he did. He's got this oasis out there, and this man, the encounter that I had with him was such a powerful wake up call, because this man is truly a master manifester. But he doesn't even know it. And you'll come across people like that along your path, like people who are they're masters at manifesting, but they don't even know what the word manifestation even means. They're just they've naturally kind of come across certain attitudes and worldviews that create abundance and wealth in their lives, and this man is the perfect definition of that. So, just a little background on this man. He's my dad's friend who they've been friends for the past 30 years. And this man, he's an immigrant, and he was telling us stories about how when he moved to the US, he had no money. And he was just telling us all these stories about how everything was an adventure for him, because he didn't really speak English when he got here, and he didn't have any money. And he moved to this rural town in Illinois to go to college. And he was telling us about his experiences, and how he couldn't afford anything. Like a Burger King, a Whopper from Burger King was like a treat for him. That's how little money he had when he got here. And today, 40 years later, this man's in his late 60s. um he has a thriving travel agency business. He has a beautiful family, a beautiful wife, two beautiful kids who are now grown up and in college. He owns a beautiful house down in Laguna Beach, and he has this beautiful cabin oasis out in the mountains here in LA, just outside of LA. And while we were having dinner with him last night, excuse me, this was a few nights ago actually, he he said, I think about how when I got to this country and I had nothing, and I look at my life now, and it's like a dream come true. That's what he said. And he said, every night before I go to bed, I just run through in my mind all the things that I'm so blessed to have, all the things that I'm grateful for. And I tell myself, and I say it in my mind, that I'm just so blessed and I'm so grateful to be living the life that I live today. And he runs through his mind all the things that he's grateful for. And he was telling us this at the dinner table. He was saying, he does this every night. And for me, being someone who's so into manifestation, I could clearly see that the fact that this man, that he does this is what's actually creating the wealth and abundance in his life. He's always in this mindset of looking at the fullness, the cup half full sort of mentality. He's looking at all the things that he's grateful for and that he's lucky for and that he's blessed for. And he runs this through his mind every day. And I thought it was very powerful hearing him talk about this, how he does this every night. And to spend the weekend with him. This man's such a generous man. He opened his cabin to us for our family, him and his wife, and made us food, and we played games and card games, and it was just such a wonderful weekend and getaway. And you could see that this man's such a generous man. And we had such a fantastic time, playing card games at night, and going walking during the day, and all that. It was an amazing time. So, I just want to share with you guys this practice that he shared with us. And he's not someone who's into manifestation or anything like that, but he probably doesn't even know what that means, but he does this practice every night before when he lays in bed. He runs through his mind all the things that he's blessed for. He tells himself how grateful he is. And I think if you could just do that practice alone, you will manifest, you'll activate wealth, you'll activate abundance in your life. You don't even have to concern yourself with visualizing things or doing all of that, because Neville Goddard says this, feeling is the secret. And if we really talk about what wealth is, when I say the word wealth, what is it? What images come to mind for you? You might think about, brand names. You might think about fast cars, Ferrari, Rolls Royce. You might think about Italian designer clothes. You might think about big houses, mansions, flying on private jets. But really, what is wealth? What is wealth when we talk about it as a state of consciousness rather than symbols and icons? What is wealth as a state of consciousness? Wealth is a state of consciousness where you feel like you are full, you have enough. That's the state of consciousness that wealth is. And that's why gratitude is such a powerful state of mind. The practice of gratitude, the attitude of gratitude, doing this practice that this man does of every night as he lays in bed, he runs through his mind all the things that he's grateful for: his wife, his kids, his thriving business, his beautiful homes, and he tells himself, I'm really so blessed. I'm so grateful. And if you're someone who's listening to this and you're saying, well, I don't have any of that stuff. I don't have the soulmate. I don't have the family and the kids, and I don't have the houses and the thriving business. There's always something that you can be grateful for. Really, there is really always something you can be grateful for. And, even I was coming across a conversation today. I guess it was my dad's friend who was talking about how he just watched a documentary about, the people living in poverty in Bangladesh, how they live by the railroad tracks and they're just sleeping in heaps of trash. The living conditions, it's ridiculous how poor these people are and the conditions that they're living in. They don't have access to clean food or clean water. When you look at that, you think you can't help but to think to yourself, like, I am so lucky. I'm so blessed to be where I am today. And I think that we, as human beings, we suffer because we feel like we don't have enough in the present moment. We feel like we're not enough in the present moment. And that's why you suffer. You only suffer because you feel like the present moment is not good enough. It's not satisfying enough. And it doesn't matter how much money you have, or, how many people you know, how many relationships you have, how many material possessions that you acquire and accumulate. If you never feel like you have enough, you'll never be truly wealthy. So I hope you guys can take this to heart and start implementing this practice as you lay in bed at night. Ask yourself, what am I grateful for? What am I blessed for? It's just simple things. I'm so lucky and blessed to have shelter and have food and have clean water and have a place to shower. Some people don't have that. I'm lucky and blessed to have one friend that cares about me. I'm lucky and blessed to have parents that are still alive, that I can still call whenever I want. But start building up this feeling of fullness within you. And when you fall asleep in that state, this is something that I've been doing, especially since, this past weekend, when this man said that. I've started practicing this, and I it's just so powerful how full I feel now, how wealthy I truly feel. And now that I've sort of stepped into this feeling of fullness, this state of consciousness, this state of mind where I feel like I'm so blessed, I'm so grateful, I have so much to be grateful for. It just feels overwhelming of how much I have in my life. That's it. That's wealth in its truest form. And as all religious texts and texts on manifestation says, it all says the same thing. When you can assume the state of consciousness that you have enough, that you feel like you're enough, that you feel whole, that you feel complete, that you feel like you're blessed, when you have so much to be grateful for in your life, that external counterpart will be added on to you, but the kingdom of heaven lies within. And, just one thing I want to add, this man, he says he's been doing this every night for as long as he can remember. Even when he didn't have the spouse or the kids or the thriving business, he would just run through his mind how blessed he is, how grateful he is for what he has. He came from a country where his people were being persecuted, and the government tried to control everything that he did. And so when he got to this country, he got a taste of freedom. So even though he didn't have any money when he got here, he said, "Boy, am I glad to be here." And he'd run through his mind how grateful he is to be in this country, to be in the United States. And he was telling us when he was a college student, he had a small apartment, paying $25 a month for rent. But he would say how he had friends. And they would have so much laughs and good times together, and he would run through his mind how grateful he is to have his friends who would help him out. And he's just been continuing doing this practice every night. running through his head how grateful he is, how blessed he is to be where he is, because there's always someone who's in a worse off position than you. You know, there's some people that don't have their health. They would literally pay everything they have to be in your state of health, to have your health that you have today. You know, there's billionaires right now who are old, they're senile, they're in their 80s. They would trade all their money to be in a position of where I am, someone in their mid-20s with a perfect, healthy body filled with energy. You know, you can't even buy this. And so this is how you have to start thinking. This is wealth consciousness. Thinking about how blessed you are, how grateful you are to have what you have right now in the present moment. See, a lot of us, we put our focus and our attention so much, especially for people who are like involved in law of attraction. We feel so dissatisfied with the present moment because we don't have something. We don't have the mansion, or we don't have the Ferrari, or we feel like we don't have status or recognition. We don't have fame. We don't have any of that stuff. We feel so dissatisfied in the present moment. So we try manifesting all these things so we can have a better future. But if you're in this state of consciousness where you feel like you don't have enough right now, you're in what we call a poverty state of consciousness. Because you feel like you never have enough. So really take these words to heart and start implementing this practice as you drift off to bed, as you lay in your bed. Just run through your mind all the things that you're grateful for, and feel the fullness of life that's here in the present moment. What can you be grateful for right now? Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.